Hello everyone, Mondevu here, and welcome back to the Isle. Um, if you haven't heard, it has updated. Sort of. It's kind of updated adjacent, for lack of a better term, but I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that because I was feeling the urge to make some videos because it's been a while since I've made any. Even though I still have a ton to upload. I know, I'm bad. Oh well. um, but yeah, I thought I would show off the Tenanto. I am a horse snake. I don't remember who called it that. Someone on one of the hunting ground server called it that, and I thought the name was great and kind of fitting, because horse snake. I mean, look at this. Look at this big old tail. That tail does some damage though. Like I can seriously wreck a Utah's day. Um, am I? I'm not fully grown. I'm in the non-existent sub-adult phase. I say non-existent just because there's not an image over here. I am a sub-adult. Um, these things take about 2 hours to grow. Which is honestly not bad. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, 2 hours. These same people are not the ones who had to put it with the progression system where it would take you 20 plus hours just to get to like halfway to a Rex. So, no. And you didn't even get to play as a Juvie Rex back then. You were just whatever other dinosaur was in place. And it was honestly kind of a system that I thought was dumb. Like, it had potential at first, but then I'm like, why? Why not just grow your dino? And eventually they were like, yeah, grow the dino. They didn't get it from me, obviously, though. That was just one of my complaints back then. So, like, on the one hand, I don't necessarily mind the idea of unlocking other dinosaurs as you go, but it kind of needs to make more sense than you have to be this dinosaur in order to unlock that one. But if you're that one, you can't be this other one. Why not just have the ability to unlock all the dinosaurs? Like, that's what people want. That'll make your game a little more interesting, I think. But yeah, that's old complaints and memories aside, because that was years ago at this point. So a lot has changed. That right there is one of the famous landmarks. I call it the Spire. Everybody else calls it a dirty name. I refuse to because I am not an oversexed person. So, make of that what you will. But I have gone on record multiple times saying I am asexual. I have almost no drive whatsoever. And whenever it does come around, my first thought isn't, I should have sex. My first thought is, I really need this feeling to go away because that's annoying. So yeah, take it for what you will. I like to say I'm broken just because everyone else is, oh my gosh, sex is the great, for like 5 minutes, sure. I got better things to do than have sex, guys. So yeah, here's your blunt, non-13-year-old safe YouTube intro here. Not sure why the conversation decided to go that direction, but hey, when you have a landmark that everybody wants to call butt plug or dick rock, yeah, I tend to be like, you know what, I'm just calling it the Spire. Plus, honestly, it does not look nearly as much like a butt plug or dick as the rest of you dirty-minded twats think it is. So, makes me think you guys have never seen either one. But anyway. So, if anyone has Telegram, that was me. So yeah, there's been an adjacent update. I'm calling it the adjacent update only because you can still play what we're now calling, that was me again, now calling the legacy version of the Isle, where you can still be like the Rex and the Acro and the Galley and all that. But Evrima, I have no clue if if that is the correct pronunciation or not. But, when it's spelled Evrima, there's only so many pronunciations that I can think of. So, Evrima, I guess, is the current update. And it's implemented a lot of systems that will help them update the game further. Right now, the primary goal is fix all the immediate bugs, and then re-implement old systems, and then add new dinosaurs based on what they've built with the Tenno and the Utah. Because right now in Evrima, you can only play as the horse snake or the Utah raptor. And since there is no AI in the game right now, without going back to the legacy version, I've decided that I will play Tenanto until there is AI. Most of the servers right now don't have rules because it's a combination of, like I said, they're doing bug fixes and whatnot on the dev team, and some of the admin tools are not present, so it's difficult to... Oh, hey, that looks like a food bush. It's difficult to prove when something happens, and I don't think they can see names yet either, so... Oh, that's not a food bush. It's just a really bright fern. Well, let me see if I can find food around here. The sniff works a little better. It's faster. Ah, there's food around here. Good. I'll be going over some of the other stuff too. I just want to kind of get some of this initial stuff out in the way. So the biggest thing they've implemented is a seamless growth system, which is really, really cool. I know that took a lot of work, a lot of coding, a lot of testing, and a lot of bugs to fix before they even went to QA. So definitely major props to the dev team for working on that. And, you know, I've said before, I'm not necessarily a fan of Dondi, but I know the guy works hard, so I'm not going to, I'm not going to trash his work. That just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter how much of an asshole someone is. If they do good work, they do good work. Bottom line. Oh dear, I have a jelly bean. Come on, jelly bean. Come on, bean. Come on, sweet bean. Let me make my silhouette less obvious. Hi, bean. Yes, you're going to sniff the microphone. Give me just a minute. Give me just a minute. Oh, the bean. The bean. You guys have to put up with this because I can't reach the pause button right now. She is blocking it. She's blocking my keyboard, aren't you, bean? My beanie meanie bean. Jelly bean. Sweet bean. The beanie weenie. So this little turd, she decided last weekend she was going to get sick. And when that happens over the weekend, it can be very dangerous for your cat because cats are excellent at hiding their injuries and their sickness because although they are predators, they're also prey animals. Aren't you, Bean? Yeah, I see you being all snuggly and sweet and purring. Your quiet little kitty purr. And so, when the cat finally does show signs of sickness or injury, it's bad because they're instinctively, I need to hide this so I'm not hunted. So I was real worried about her at first. And this little turd, she spent one day sleeping off whatever she had, and then, within the next 2, she was perfectly fine and still had a vet appointment. This little booger. But apparently that's something kids do as well. So cats and kids. Yes, Jelly Bean. She's not going to let me. She's being so affectionate. Like, Bean, I'm trying to record a video. I'm pretty sure people don't want to stare at a boring screen while I talk to you. I love you, Beanie Weenie. She's my jelly beanie. He's my sweet bean. Can I drive now? Can I drive now, please? I can has driving, please. Okay. But yes, they implemented a seamless growth system. I can't say that. I keep wanting to say seamless. Like I have a lisp. What cruel person put an S in lisp? Anyway. So obviously tons of new foliage. This one actually does not fit anymore, but I think it's a placeholder for the food we will eat. Because one of the things they're going to do is add, a lot of different kinds of foods that your dinosaur will eventually have preferences for. But I'll get into that in a bit. So right now, you do not have to, if I press escape, oh, look at this. There's no growth button. That's because I don't need to grow anymore. I'm no longer changing models entirely. It is the same model, but it changes as you grow. And that is awesome. It is amazing. I like the new map. It's brighter and more vibrant, I feel, than the others. It's also really easy to hide in here. Like in the original and Legacy, it was hard to hide. It was very difficult to hide because you had to find the right cluster of pine trees, and you were better off if they were on a hill or next to some rocks because you could still be seen. So this does honestly work a lot better. Like, if I really want to, say some Utah is running by the road, if I just lay down in this thicket, I'm not so easily seen. Like right now and right here I am, but look at this. And imagine this as a baby Tenonto. I can hide so very well. Now granted, render distance is still a thing because if you can see way back there, you can see all the tall tufts of grass, but you can't see the actual grass. And if a Utah runs back there or a Tenno runs back there, yeah, you'll see them very clearly. But this close, because there's a path up there, that path up there, you're not likely to see me unless you really know what you're looking for or unless I move around a lot. Yes, Jelly Bean. Yes, Jelly Bean. Beanie Ween Bean. Oh, my sweet bean. She's a beanie ween bean. Oh, she's buried her nose in the crook of my arm, and it is absolutely adorable. It is, Bean. You knew I wanted to make a video, so you decided you were going to be part of it. I love you so much, Bean. She's a bean. Aw, I love you. My little purr baby. But yes, I really like the Tenonto, not just because, hey, we have a new dinosaur, but because it just looks cool. I didn't know this was a dinosaur species until the Isle announced, hey, we're working on this. And there's other dinosaurs they're going to add, too, that they have been working on, and all within the seamless growth system. So what they've basically been doing, And this is just from my limited understanding because I've watched other videos where they update. I've checked the Discord. And keep in mind, checked, not gone through, not asked questions. I've just kind of skimmed because while I understand video game development takes a long time, you know, sometimes it's just better to wait until other people have done all their... Hi! This is another Tenanto. Hello. Who dis? This one's fully grown. At least it looks fully grown. I'm waiting for a response. Must be Gypsy. Ah, I'm being warned. Gotcha. Alley-oop. Okay, so now I have a little buddy with me. As you can see, name tags are still not a thing. Now, granted, in survival mode, those typically weren't a thing anyway. Oh, Jellybean's watching the screen now. That's fun. Yeah, there's lots of food here. Food is no longer what I need. I need water. But yeah, they've been adding... I like to wait until other people gather all the information and then go there, because that way I have one source of it versus having... to, you know, pick it apart piece by piece. So I can just watch like one or two videos and get all the info I need. Some of it repetitive, but hey, at least that way I get it and I'm not sitting there going, did I read this before? Am I missing something? Was this a repeat? And, you know, it just makes it easier for me that way. Yeah, so really like this one. They've done this with the Utah Raptor as well, with the seamless growth. Hey, I said it right that time. And they're going to add a whole bunch of other dinosaurs too. They're going to, and I know they're going to implement some of the older ones. Obviously, Rex will be one of these. I've actually seen the growth system, or the growth cycle, I should say, not the system, because I have no idea how that would look on coding. I'm not a coder, but I also know that is not something they're going to share anyway. So wrong words. But they show like the animations of, you know, the growth cycle sped up so you can see it. And like the dinosaurs really do go through some amazing changes. Like when you're just a little bitty Tenno, like your eyes are bigger, your head is a little bit bigger, your feet are a little bit bigger, and you're just slightly disproportioned like a real baby animal would be. Need water. Yes, Jellybean, like a real baby animal would be, like you were. But yeah, so they're going to be adding Pteranodon at some point, which will be a new dinosaur. They have not had that before. They did have the Kets. I call it the Kets. It's Quetzalcoatl something another. It's really difficult to pronounce, so Kets for short. Quetz for anyone wondering. And they had that flying dinosaur for a while, and it was cool, but landing it was a pain. And I think, oh geez, I have a bean moving. We have a bean on the move. Jellybean, I love you, but thank you. She wanted to stop over my arm. Anyway. Let me see if I can need some water. One thing I do like is your hunger and thirst actually goes down, like, faster. So, like, you have this need to constantly be on the move. And granted, it's a lot easier when you're, like, an adult or near an adult, because you don't need to eat quite as much because you're not growing. Or at least I assume that's why that's set up that way. But, you know, still, like, it's not just eat one thing and then sit still for hours, because that's kind of how the game started for a while there. The hunger bar did not go down very much, so it was just kind of like, why, okay, sure, I'll go on a killing spree, I'm bored. So, you know, I get it. I understand the KOSers. I really do. They're bored. And I'm not gonna lie, fighting as a dinosaur is fun. Just like hunting as a dinosaur is fun. Just like escaping a hunt as a dinosaur is fun. It's all fun. You gotta find and make your own entertainment while it's still in development. That's all. But yeah, they're gonna be adding Pteranodon and a whole bunch of new dinosaurs that I can't pronounce the names of, because once again, my fondness of dinosaurs goes as far as, oh cool, it's a dinosaur, and then I never bother to research it, because dinosaurs just never grabbed me the way big cats did. Big cats, I was like, ooh, I want to learn more. Dinosaurs was like, hey, that looks cool. And that's really kind of been it. But there's some cool stuff you can do in here. But I will go ahead, before I do that, I will go ahead and go over some things you cannot do. There are not groups right now. You cannot, update your groups. I think they just fixed it so that you can use your settings while in-game finally. There's no other chat besides the general one. I will go and show off one cool thing you can do, though. You can stop and find this mud here, which right now it's all kinds of obvious. But you find the mud and you wallow in it, and this works for any species. And for a short while, your tracks will be covered. And that's another thing that they improved was the scent system. You saw me sniffing a few times, and if you recall, anytime I sniffed on the aisle beforehand, you know, you'd get like these kind of like glowing, like look at this bright green thing for a bush, or look at this bright red thing for a kill, or look at these weird yellow puffs for footprints that disappear for no reason. Yeah, scent system works much better now. I like this one a lot, honestly. You saw the little green dots for the food. It'll be red dots for meat and blue for water. And then your footprints, you're not going to be able to see them right now because I just wallowed in the mud. But your footprints are this kind of interesting yellow color. And I'll show you that when I find some dadgum water. And this is supposed to be a game trail. It's like weirdly even, but at the same time, you know, early access game is early access. I like to jokingly call this the game that's permanently in early access because it's been in early access for like 5 years. But that's okay. It's not like it's not being worked on. Hoping there's water ahead. But yeah, the scent system works so much better now. It makes so much more sense than it did before. Did you just rubber band, or? I think you just rubber band. We might be about to crash. That has been happening a lot. Okay. I'm not too worried about Utahs because we have 2 Tennos at the moment. I mean, I might not be a full adult yet, but I can still hit hard. Hey, here's the water. I think they recently fixed the water glitch because it used to be that you couldn't swim. Or like there was a 50-50 chance as to whether or not you'd be swimming or just walking into the water. I think they might have finally fixed that. They still have not fixed the IK system to slope downhill yet, so thus Tenanto standing on water to drink. Oh hey, another Tenno. Cool. Hello. You're not seeing the command, but it is still E to eat and drink. And it's also holding down E to wallow. They also finally added corpse dragging. You can actually grab the carcass and drag it away if you're Utah. Unless it's like an adult Tenno. I think that one's just too big. And this one right here that's probably a juvie. Because you got hatchling, juvie, sub-adult. Like sub-adult and then adult. I'm pretty sure this one's full grown. I know I'm getting close, but I don't think my tail is quite as thick, and I'm not quite as tall. But again, with the IK system being weird at the moment, it's hard to say. So other cool things that you can do. First of all, I like being able to just turn around. You actually have collisions on the dinosaurs now. Like, you can't just completely walk through people. You can kind of do it with a Tenno tail, but that's fair because look at this thing. This is a very long tail. My tail right now is as long as that Tenno. Here we go. Footprints. And you can't see some of these because they wallowed. Oh, yeah, see, I've got the water glitch. You can just barely see me in the shallow water. Okay, so they haven't fixed that one yet. But that's okay. One thing that you can do is you can overeat. And if you overeat, you will puke. Let's see if I can find a bush, because that's the best way to illustrate that. A bush or something. Yeah, see, there we go. There's the blue particles. And I think the faster they move towards you, the closer you are to whatever you need. Oh, yeah. Here's the other thing. Herbivores can graze. That's what's happening here. Herbivores can graze. So no more wandering around going, why can't I find a bush to eat when there's all kinds of food around me? You can now just eat the grass. It doesn't fill you up very much, but in a pinch, it works really well. And sometimes you might be in the only safe area, and grazing is your only option to get food, so that's what you do. Plus, this kind of helps add the whole realism thing, so once, these servers have their admin tools and whatnot, realism rules are going to be easier to follow and feel a bit more immersive because you're no longer just standing around when you're in a herd. You can actually graze, which means you can have things like nesting grounds and whatnot. And that's another thing. Nesting is not currently in the game either. There is no nesting, there is no groups, there is no multiple chat options. And that was me again on Telegram. So yeah, that's the case right now. But with this system that they've got in place with just these 2 dinosaurs, is they're basically going to use the Tenno and the Utah to, if I understand it correctly, they're going to use them to help implement other dinosaurs. So basically, if something works on a Utah, they just have to apply it to whatever the next carnivorous dinosaur is, or a dinosaur of, I guess, a bipedal type. I don't know if that's how they're basing it or not. And with the Tenno, I'm guessing it's either herbivore or 4-legged based. And then the Pteranodon will probably be its own for flying dinosaurs. I don't know if that's going to be the only flying dino that we get. There are going to be adding fish to the game finally. I don't know when, but that's the plan. And that's for the Spino, which the Spino got an amazing remodel. I can't show you guys because I don't have that kind of a fancy software, but the model looks amazing. You'll catch a glimpse of it on the main menu screen. I guess I'll wallow too since they are. It's funny because you can wallow in the mud, but you'll still leave footprints even if you don't leave scent. And I have a tiny jump. I have a little tiny jump. And no, I don't know where I'm going. I just decided to go this way. If they want to follow, that is entirely on them. I am not actively trying to be a herd leader. But yeah, the game is a lot of fun. Only 2 dinosaurs right now, and you pick your dinosaur before you pick your server. So it's a little odd like that, but I mean, hey, I don't mind. You know, you're either a Utah Raptor or a Tenonto right now. And you can have fun as either one. More so, in my opinion, more so with the Tenonto because you're not constantly scrapping for trying to find other players for food. Like the Utahs have taken to cannibalizing each other sometimes because everybody wanted to go Utah, and yet, you know, there's no AI, so they couldn't really eat very well. So obviously they have to hunt other players. On the one hand, I don't mind hunting other players. That is my preference. But AI is a good backup for emergencies, and I think it's a fair one. So eventually I think they're going to bring that back in, but right now there is no AI, so players have to get used to the combat system. Which works, because trying to fight an AI that has collision might be significantly different than trying to fight, you know, a player that has collision. Plus the player is going to be smarter. That was a Utah call right now. So I'm going to pause here and see you guys in the next video in case something happens.